Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan for week 15, Friday for Algebra 2, semester 2. How are you guys doing? This is your 3 questions. These are the 3 questions for your warm-up log. So go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for week 15, Friday. All right, so here are your answers. So this week we talked about the differences between linear, absolute values, quadratics to exponential functions. So here it's a comparison of the linear graph, which is like a straight line, to an exponential growth graph, which you're kind of starting out with small numbers and then it exceedingly goes up to really big numbers. So this week we talked about all different types of scenarios when it comes to exponential graph and decay. Just a quick little review. These are your grade points and how it's going to be assigned. So take a moment and just review the different scores and what they mean. So this is week 15. It's the last week of this week 15 Friday. And so your safety grade is 75%. If you take a look at it, this is the last week of week 15. You guys have the remaining weeks in green, and then your final starts right there in yellow. So last class, if you are not here, you know where to get your assignment. It is on the tray that is on top of the red bookcase, and you guys are third period, so it's a third tray from your left, and you can go ahead and grab the worksheet that looks like this. So yesterday on week 15 Thursday, we started off with different types of examples and real life situations that models exponential growth and decay. In some cases, we talked about a beetle problem, a bunny problem, the cost and valuation of baseball cards over time, how much your car is going to cost after you drive it off the dealer's lot. And so we went over a few of these examples, and then we ended it with the assessment on you creating your own poster board. So this is an example of what I did, but the instructions are right here. There are 6 of them, and the rubric is on the left side. Okay, so this week, keep in mind that you need to complete your Math Excel for 15 for the practicing and also the assessment. It is due on Sunday. And then, of course, with your YouTube channels, if you guys take a look at that, there should be 69 different videos, and the latest one that you should have here is up to week 15 Thursday, and you will have week 15 Friday, which is today, uploaded on this shortly. So anything that you guys have been absent for or is in need of making up is going to be on the YouTube channel. The hard copy of the notes is always going to be on the third tray or in the third tray in B1 on top of the red bookshelf. All right, so you do need to have a handout that is from your sub today. So make sure you guys grab that from her. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing I want you guys to take a look at is this right here. You should have this in your guided notes. And there are 3 different scenarios that we're going to be working on today. Okay, so for the first one, it says the graph shows the change of the value of the car over several years. Obviously, time is going this way. So as time progresses and gets further along, the value of your car kind of goes down, obviously. So A says, is the value of the car increasing or decreasing? Well, just looking at this, it obviously looks like it's going down, so it will be decreasing. B, is the graph a linear, quadratic, or exponential? Linear is like y equals mx plus b. Quadratic is when you have an x squared. Exponential is when you have, which we're dealing with right now, is y equals a times b to the x. And so remember, we also model the different shapes of this. A linear is a straight line. Quadratic is like a happy face. And then, of course, exponential is a growth or a decay. So in this case, hopefully you can say that it's an exponential and then tell me 2 or 3 sentences, how can you tell? And there are a variety of different ways you can tell from that. For C, from year 0, which is right here, to 3, which is right here, how much the value of the car change? So from year 0, it looks like your car is 12,000 because it's in thousand, from 12,000. And then from year 3, it looks like it went down to 6,000. So you lost $6,000 on the initial value of your car in 3 years. So then answer the question, how does this number compare to the initial value? Give me about 3 sentences. All right, let's go on to 2. The graph shows an office worker's annual salary. So the annual salary of this the worker starts right here at year 0, and it doesn't seem like he's getting paid that much. So I would probably ask for a raise. It looks like he's starting at $5,000. But then if you look at it, it does look like he's growing with his salary over time because this is the number of annual increases. This right here shows the annual salary in dollars and thousands. So is this worker's annual salary increasing or decreasing? I will say it's increasing because it's going up. How much is this office worker initial salary? Well, that will be $5,000. Write an exponential equation using this value. So your initial, remember, is going to be 5,000. Now inside here is going to be your multiplier. For your multiplier, it's usually 1 plus the rate that it's increasing. And so if you take a look at that right there, at the rate that it is increasing, let's see. So for the purpose of this question, the purpose is for you to make sure you know the initial value, and then the rate, it's going to be a little bit difficult to calculate, but it'll just be 1 plus whatever the rate is going to be of increase, or the rate, I should say, growth, to the x power. Okay, number 3. So the following graph shows the number of coffee stores after 1992. So just looking at that right there, it looks like a lot of people are consuming a lot more caffeine after 1992. So A says, is it a quadratic, exponential, or linear? Well, I think you know it's an exponential because it's an exponential growth. How can you tell? Give me about 2 sentences there. And one way you can tell it's exponential because it's not increasing at the same rate like it will be with a linear. So that's one way. How many stores were open in 1992? So they're asking for the initial value. Your initial value when the number of year in 1992 is going to be 400 stores. And then C, which of the following equation might fit this data? Well, here you have 3 different choices, okay? Remember, your y is equal to 400. Inside is going to be your multiplier, and this number needs to be bigger than 1 because you know it is going to be a growth. Well, so automatically I can see that this option is not correct because it's smaller than 1, so that's actually a decay. This number is way too big, so I will probably not use that one either. So the only one that looks like it's even remotely reasonable is the first one. And so this is saying that the store is increasing by 25% because if you do 1 minus 0.25, or excuse me, if you look at the increase, it is going to be 1 plus the percent of increase, which is 0.25, and that is 25%. Another way that you can do this is you can also go ahead and just graph it. So this is where you're going to go ahead and grab your graphing calculator. So here's mine. I'm going to turn mine on and then go to y equals, and you're just going to graph 400 parenthesis 1.25 Make sure there's a point or else your graph doesn't look really bad. And then make sure you guys use the exponent button for the X and then hit graph. Now, you probably won't be able to see it because my Y value needs to be a lot bigger than just at whatever it is right now. So I'm going to go to my windows. It's still graphing, so it might take a little bit, and you can tell because that little thing is still thinking. So now that I stopped thinking, I'm going to go down to my Y max. And I'm probably going to put 600. And then hit graph. Because you're starting at 400, so obviously, you know. So if I graph this one right here, it does kind of match the graph that I have on my paper, so I will say this is reasonable. Now, to make this a little bit interesting, if you were to go ahead and use the third one, which is going to be at 1.25, parenthesis, and then 400, if I were to graph that one looks a little bit crazy. So if you take a look at this graph right here, it obviously is a lot more like a very steep vertical curve, and it's not nicely rising up. So that probably will not be the correct one. If you need to check your answers, here are the answers for this part. So pause the video and check your answers. All right, so next I'm gonna have you guys do is you're gonna focus on a matching activity. And so you're gonna turn over to this side of your paper. And what you're gonna do is you have the QR codes right here. So if you're watching this on an iPad, you can grab a different iPad. Or, you know, if you're like, I don't wanna have two iPads, you can also access it on this link. So you just type it in this red link. You'll be writing your stuff right here on the paper. So once you click on once you go to the red link or the QR code, you can use either or. It's gonna look something like this. It's gonna take you to this part here, okay? And this is your table. So the first part, it says exponential table graph scenario, and there are 5 different questions. So here are the 5. You're gonna go ahead and match the equation to the correct table, to the correct graph, to the correct scenario. Yesterday, we talked about all the different types of scenarios and examples that is used for exponential growth and decay. So today you should be able to do that. And as you can see, it's organized based on numbers, capitalized and lowercase letters. And so you just write your answer right here. When you are done with that, you are then going to create your own equation. So come up with an exponential equation, come up with a graph with a table, draw your graph using your TI-84 calculator, and then create your scenario. And other than that, that's basically it. So last part that I want you guys to focus on is going to be this piece right here. Okay, and it says your notes on exploring exponential models, and it's 20 slides. So what you need to do with this is going to jot down your notes. Where you need to go with this is right over here. So you need to go to joinmyquiz.com and insert the game code. This is going to be good for the next 7 days. And so once you get there, which I'm going to click on this to show you guys, it will look something like this, okay? And you just simply go to the slides and you just go through it with yourself on your own and then do this. So if you're like, I don't know how to do this, so just go to joinmyquiz.com. And then the join code that I gave you was 0682. And then you're going to type in the last part of the code, which is 2645, and then join. Type in your name, hit start, and then read this part, hit the next button, go over this, make sure you pick the right answer. They'll tell you if you got it right or wrong, hit the next one, and then continue on with this. There are 20 slides, and you can tell how many you have left on the upper left-hand side. So right now I'm on 3 out of 20. All right, you guys, other than that, I hope you have a wonderful week. Just make sure you guys turn this in to your sub. There are 2 things that you need to finish. First is this first part of your paper, and then the back of your paper. So that should take the entire 50 minutes of class. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care.